Welcome, folks. Daryl Martin, Tom O'Brien. We appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. Right now, you get the Dow Industrials down 16. Nasdaq is up 3. You get the S&Ps off $1.50. Gold is off $2.90. Silver is off a couple pennies. The oil market's up 83. You get King Dollar up 19 ticks. The euro is flat at 131. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day out there. And, of course, we're kicking into the holiday weekend. And everyone stay safe out there. And next week, folks, if you haven't test drove the Nadex platform yet, folks, come over to our website at tfnn.com. You're going to see the Nadex banner in the very top on the side. Hit that banner. Bring the platform up. You can put they will put 25,000 of paper money into it. You can see how this platform trades each and every day. Daryl does an outstanding show here at TFNN every day, 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. You can get all of that programming right on your cell phone at tfnn.com as you kick into, it's not the new year, but it's the new year in trading, no doubt, when we kick in after Labor Day. Daryl Martin, what's going on? Oh, I don't have Daryl Martin. Okay. Okay, so when you take a look at, the bottom line, folks, is that you don't want to be trading out here today, period. Okay, that's, I know in the Tigers Den they're saying, we get a little slow Tigers Den out here today. It's not that slow, but the reality is, folks, is this, is that the volume characteristic, you're going to have the lightest volume of the day, I suspect, out here today. First hour and a half, you're going to get a little back and forth movement, kick back, groove. You can watch the market. Next week is when you're going to get some real action in there. And as Jay says, no, there's always opportunities in Nadex. And there's no doubt about that. And it's just the opposite, as Daryl says, because what does happen there, you only need a very small amount of movement in order to basically get the trade going on your side, particularly if you're using, well, it depends. I know Jay loves to do the Dow 30, you'll get your own whatever you'd like to do, meaning what index you like to do and or what currency you like to do. We take a look at this S&P out here. Now, the benchmarks on the S&P go like this, okay? We're at 1997.26, and it's going to be really tough today to get this underneath the 1991 area. You have two benchmarks. The other one is the 1994.76. That was the high that was generated last week. Now, that particular high, if you close underneath it, it would be a failure because this is going to be the lightest volume week. It's going to be the lightest volume month in the indices. It's not going to be that, however, in the ETF structures. We've had a couple of lighter weeks, lighter months rather, not lighter weeks. This will be the lightest week in the ETF structure. So where this baby goes, today is going to be really crucial coming into this close. If it does close underneath that, well, then that's a field day, folks. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Daryl Martin, what's going on?
How's it going?
Going great, man. You having a good day out there? You ready for a good weekend?
I am definitely very ready, yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, man. No doubt. And if we go over and we take a look at this S&P right now, so you're at 1993.50 in the future, and we'll see. It looks like it's going to make a run to the bottom of yesterday. We have a high volume low out there at 1998. If it does that, that's going to be unusual in a day that we're going to basically not have a lot of action, But we'll see how this whole baby does shake out. Over in Europe, the DAX in Germany is basically pushing into its lows. So that, no doubt, will turn around and put a bit of pressure on our markets. The pressure, though, folks, okay, we are at 10 o'clock right now. This market is going to go flat and dead and by the time we're off the air. That's how this thing shakes.
It's holiday weekend.
Right.
And then now it's Friday. Put that together, yeah, definitely. So... but you know what? You can get volatility. We were talking about this Wednesday. You can get volatility in the market or you can get volatility in the instrument. So if you still want to trade, then you still got the binaries, which will just go nuts.
There's no doubt. And that, it's interesting because I just brought that up when I started the program. Yeah. And, Jay, who trades the Nadex product a lot, And the den says, "Oh no, 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 no! There's always opportunities out here." You know, so, yeah, and I can see that. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I mean, because you thrive, you know, as a trader, you got to have that volatility.
Right.
But, you know, like I said, you know, you can have it in the instrument or you can have it in the actual market. But either way, with Nadex, you got it, you know, no matter what.
Yeah, and you know, what does happen, folks, okay, once you get that platform up and going, you can come over to our website at TFNN. Daryl has an outstanding analyzer, and what the analyzer specifically will do is let you know the best contract that you can get for the strategy that you want, meaning is it going bullish, going bearish, where are you going with this whole deal. So, you know, it's going to be interesting here watching how we get into this next week, because there is no doubt, okay, you know, I'm no doubt still a huge bear, folks, and in the context of that, it is pretty amazing that, you know, you can have Russia basically taking out the Ukraine, and by the end of the weekend, they're going to take a lot more land. You can have the European Union not knowing what the heck to do. But guess what? This is a Teflon market, man. It just chugs along.
Do you buy the invasion and sell the pullback, or what do? You know?
I sell it. Okay. I'm gonna sit there patiently, and that's you know, that's the game.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting this morning. You know, listening to CNBC. Kernan was, you know, saying to every person, every person that's coming on CNBC, folks, there's just absolutely no doubt, is basically saying that, hey, listen, we're going higher, the market's not overvalued, it's expensive, but it's not overvalued. And I start thinking, I says, you know what, man, I says, what has to happen here is that CNBC themselves, you know, what Kernan was saying, does that mean that we're finally going to get a pullback, that everyone is saying it? But what I'm realizing, too, is like, oh, man, you know, CNBC themselves, they've been saying for, you know, a good month now, you know, hey, listen, we're going to get a pullback. Is a pullback coming? And what has to happen, it almost has to be a capitulation there that there's not going to be a pullback. You know what I'm saying? I really started thinking about it. I says, man, this is going to get interesting to see how this plays out, because that almost because the talk of a pullback is too much, you know? It's deviant, it's crazy, but, you know, we'll see where it shakes out, man.
It's the whole, you know, herd mentality thing. So.
Oh, it is, man. You know, there's no doubt about it, man. It's pretty amazing. And, you know, when you look at, you know, we're talking about bonds and all, what you do have across the world, folks, is that, well, you know, Italy, we were talking about it yesterday, that, okay, is this phenomenon that rates are going down across the world in an extraordinary way, and you know, our 10-year is expensive. That's the bottom line. You know, when you look at the rest of the world, it's expensive. You know, Italy went into deflation, and now this is amazing. You got to really wrap your head around some of these things. So, Italy's numbers come out this morning. Italy's 10-year is 2.4. Ours is 2.3. Okay, and you know, I heard an analyst turn around and say, well, hold it. Italy's still a decent deal because they have deflation. It's not even close, folks, okay, because they're trading in the euro. So what happens at the euro, you know, the euro's at 133. The euro wants to go down dramatically versus the dollar wanting to go up, okay? So it's our bonds that are going to continue lower, you know. And, you know, so it's pretty wild. It's wild, man. The whole thing's wild, you know.
Now we just got to figure out how to take advantage of all of it.
Oh, listen, man. I suspect that, you know, I love where we're at, really. Do you know what I mean? And I suspect that, you know, coming into next week, you know, not Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, Wednesday right up to Christmas, there's going to be a field day here. And that's whether you're a bull or a bear, folks, because what's going to happen is that the volatility is going to come in, the volume will expand. It won't get huge, okay, but it's going to expand. Because, see, my reality is that we've been up at these highs since July 3rd right now. And you're coming into the most volatile month of the year. Doesn't mean that you have to get down heavy, but we're definitely coming into the most volatile month of the year. And that the dollar, the euro, there's enough movement in those currencies and the metals that, depending, you know, what you're trading, there's going to be plenty of trades out there. That's the bottom line. That's all that really matters.
Right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So
dollar index has been doing pretty well for the last like couple weeks.
oh, it's trending nice, man.
Been flying on up.
No, it's they've just finished one ABC structure on the way up, and where I suspect what we'll have here is the index is at 82.50, get it pulled back to about 81.64, and then you want to be all over it again. And that next movement, see, that's the small ABC. The next movement in that index, folks, is a much larger ABC. And if I'm right in that correction, you want to be all over this Nadex product, because what happens is that the amount of movement in the last 4 weeks has been dramatic, and you only need a few ticks, whether you're going long the dollar or short the euro. And when we talk a few ticks, we had a lot more than a few ticks. You had 5 full points, which is just amazing, so.
One thing I noticed, too, over on the Nadex platform on the spreads.
Yes.
You might like this on their gold spreads, which we like trading.
Okay.
Not only is the volume getting a lot better, but check out the bid offer.
I'll pull them up right now. Right. Okay. Whoops. What did I just do? Oh, where is she?
Bid offer is a tick wide.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
an option. That's an option, and they're a tick wide.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
It's been going on for a few weeks.
Right.
So it's not just a one-off event. So I'm excited that the market makers are getting that in order.
That's right. No, that's huge. There's no doubt about that, because what does happen. I was pretty. The movement inside the metals is getting volatile also, folks, which is really sweet. There's no doubt about that. Okay. I got it. 10 to 12. 1288. Let me see this. 1288, 1290. Wow, look at that. Holy cow. Because what happened, as soon as I hit it, I closed it. I just brought it back up. Man, that's impressive.
Isn't that awesome?
That is unbelievable, actually. Wow.
So we get back, we'll talk about what that means in margin for an actual trader to take advantage of that.
Dow, Mott, and Tom O'Brien, you stay right there, folks. We want to hear from you. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Dow right now is off 31. Nasdaq's flat. S&Ps are off for 2.5. We're going to be right back. Dow, Mott, and Tom O'Brien, appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. And we were just talking about the dollar, and we're going to talk about gold. But check this out, folks. This is going to be this is a trip. Goldman Sachs just come out, and we were talking about how the dollar's trending. Goldman Sachs just come out about, I think this, let's see, yeah, all of 20 minutes ago, and are looking for the euro to go to parity with the dollar by the end of 2017. That's intense. And technically, folks, that's where it's set up. And the euro right now is at 131. So get ready to go visit the Amalfi Coast. Seriously.
Well, it's funny because I was speaking at the Money Show in Dallas.
Yes.
And they had me up there with all these other FX guys.
Yeah.
And I think you were at that show, I think, with me.
I was, yeah.
And it was unfair because I sort of beat one of the guys up because he was talking about how important it is to take stops, and then I got up and talked about trading on Nadex.
Nadex. I remember that. Right.
And they asked us what our long-term projection, like over the next 5 years, was for the euro. And I said parity with the dollar.
Yeah.
And they all looked at me like I was insane.
No,
and now Goldman's saying it, so I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty intense because that's a push. And but in 2017 is not a long way away, but it looks to me like Europe has some monster problems, period. So
yeah.
So now we're talking about the Nadex product number one. Now we're going to be talking about the spreads on them and what it exactly means for you as a trader. Well, as we're talking about this too, this is pretty cool. GCZ. Let me see this, because we just got a little pop in the gold market too. Yeah, so it's interesting. And someone just came in there. So check this out, folks. So someone just came in with some big contracts, man. Someone's not willing to go over the weekend, not being long a little more gold. You know, and what's wild is that from yesterday you got a high volume high at 1297. Whoever just came in here for Friday before going.
That's a lot of volume.
They just poured some volume in here, man. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
They're dumping off their contracts, it looks like.
Yeah, they're buying. Okay, so I'm looking at your analyzer here. So talk to me.
All right, well, like I said, what we got going on is gold is now a tick wide.
Yes. On
the bid offer. So that means you're basically trading it like you're trading gold.
Right, which is amazing.
Yeah, you don't have to put up all the money, have all the risk, because gold can, it can fly.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, there are times where you'll see it move like 2, 3, 4 points in a heartbeat.
And what happens in gold, folks, it's $5,000 to carry 100 ounces. That's the deal. That's on the full contract. That's the margin.
Right. And so you're putting that up, to carry the full contract. You may get a day trading break depending on where you're at. But either way, you're putting up a lot of cash.
Right.
And the reason that margin's there is because they expect that to be the potential volatility in that contract.
Sure.
And like you said, there's just this massive pop that just happened right over here. Let me show this. I'll bring this up, pop up here that we got on gold going on. And you have this massive move. Well, what if you're short right there? And let's say you got short at 1285 and gold also at 1293. You're down $800 in gold.
Right, in a heartbeat.
In the last 10 minutes,
right,
you've lost $800 on a single contract. Well, over here now you can trade gold on Nadex, and you can trade it with capped risk. You don't have to trade full sizes.
Right.
You can trade, which doesn't mean you have to trade small, but you don't.
But it's your choice, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and even for traders that are increasing their account size, okay.
Yep.
You don't have to go from 1 to 2, right? You can go 1.2,
right.
1.3. You can ratio your risk and really get your percentage there where you want it at, and. So for me, what that tells, it lets you be a master of your own risk. Your control of your own risk, and you can go in here with 14 ticks. That's nothing.
Right.
$21, $22 risk from now to 130.
That's amazing.
If you wanted to go long on this thing, that's nothing at all.
So for the folks that are in their car, if you can explain what contract that is, so it's the.
Yes. So 1290 to 1330,
right? Gold
contract for the 130 expiration. So end of the day, into the pit. Okay.
And this is so cool because we're at 1290 right now.
Yeah, and you can buy this thing at 1292.2. So you get about 13 ticks of premium in there.
Yep.
Which is 1.3. It just moved 5 points in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, which is cool in the gold market, exactly.
Exactly. So you can put up $22. That means if you wanted to do now they're worth $1 a tick.
Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to do 10 contracts to make it equal to a gold future,
yeah,
you're putting up a couple $100 right now on the trade.
That's amazing.
And that's your max risk, no stop loss needed.
As soon as we come back, we're going to really walk through this, folks, because that's $220 risk versus putting $5,000 up and getting whacked for $800 in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
Darryl Martin, Tom O'Brien, you stay right there, folks. We'll come right back. Welcome back, folks. Darryl Martin, Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. Right now, you get the Dow down 31. Nasdaq's up 2. S&Ps are off 2.5. We get our man Darryl Martin scanner up. We are looking at the gold contract right now. Gold is trading at 1290.30.
Massive volume spike. I think we're pulling back. What do you think?
Watch
hit
how this is set up.
Yeah.
It's set up really sweet, folks, okay? So you're at 1290, and what you have is this. You have a high volume spike from yesterday at 1297. So the way that's set up is that even on a slow day, where that first expansion up is telling me that before this close, we can go hit that 1297. And the bottom of that, so check this out. The bottom of that is 1294. So at 1290, and that was at 8:20 yesterday morning, as soon as the open was. So the bottom is 1294. The top is 1297. 4,900 contracts. Well, what we did is that we did 5,200 contracts that last 10-minute bar. Right now, you have no contracts, but I expect what you're going to see before this market closes at 1:30. But I suspect, I guess you're going to see it. Let's see. Can you do the noon one? Yeah, you get an hour and a half. Bottom line, they're going to unleash on this thing, I suspect, before that closeout here. And what you'll see, and this is where they can push it any way you want, folks, because the volume is so light today, okay? But that wasn't light. That next push up, whoever did that one, guess what? My take is that they do the next one wide that puts everything right in the money for them ASAP. So
you think it might actually pop up to 12.97 by the day's end?
yeah, 12.94 to 12.97. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at going short, maybe hedging with a long, like a binary.
Okay.
Or doing both, maybe just straddling the puppy, but
let's see.
You can go either way.
Okay, so we got your scanner up. Go ahead.
Okay, so we can go in, like, here's a straddle. Okay?
Yeah.
And basically you're looking at a risk of $33 for a straddle right now, and that's going in on the 130s, the 1290, the 1330, and the 1250 to 1290s. And that'd give you, if you did both, now you got to always understand, of course, as a straddle trader, you got to cover the risk on the other side, right?
Yes.
So you're giving up about 3 points, 3.5 points of movement in either direction to be break even if you straddle it.
Okay.
But by straddling it, it doesn't matter if it goes back down. And I mean, it came down this, to 1284 earlier. We had that pretty decent volume spike earlier this morning, about 445.
Okay.
Wasn't as solid as the 5,000 we just had, but it came on. It had about 4,000 contracts at 450 this morning. You see that?
1 second. Let me get this up. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Right.
So, I mean, we could pull back to that 1283, or we could pull up to 1297 from the volume spike yesterday. If we hit either one of those, we're talking about over 100% return on your trade. And we got till 134 to happen.
Okay.
So, or you could just pick a direction. You could also hedge with the binaries. There's a lot of ways. I mean, that's what beautiful thing about options, right?
Yes.
You got options. So you can go in there. There's a 1296 for 850. You could buy that contract. If it expires above that, then of course you can make
that's a
huge return.
Right.
If it just hit it though, you could buy it for 850 and sell it for about 43, 44 with bid-ask spread. Okay.
Yes.
And basically, you'd be looking at netting about over 300% return on the trade.
Right.
So that's probably your highest profit trade if it hops up and hits 1296, which is a point earlier than where you're predicting.
Yeah, I like let me pull this right in front of me here.
Or you can just buy the spread if you think it's going up.
Yeah, I like the spread. I like the spreads anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I trade both of them all the time. Depends on what I'm doing. If I'm going for a big move,
I'm with you.
I'm going for the spreads. If I'm going for smaller moves,
right,
or if I want to hedge off, sometimes I'll hedge off because I can just hedge off like the stupid cheap. So,
well, what seems to happen that and with the spreads is that the movement doesn't have to be that far. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, you're not going to get the doubles and triples that you get on a binary. That's for sure. But the other side of that is that in the course of an hour and a half or 2 hours, if in fact we get movement, then you want to get in or out. But that's,
if we get 4 or 5 points, yeah, grab that money and move on.
Exactly.
So for the current hour, I see that we basically hit our range or expected move.
Oh, that's cool. Yes.
So like right here, see I have the expected movement on every hour.
Right.
Built in. And so for the current hour, I basically had an expectation that before the end of this hour, we basically would move 5 points. We actually exceeded it a little bit because that volume spike. We hit 6 points, 6.3 on it, and from the low to the high. And so that's why I was like, might want to go short at least into 11, and then at 11, I might look in to go in and hedge off and put it long on just in case.
So let's go over, I want to take a look at this for a second because it's SIZ4. See, what you had out here yesterday is that you also had, yes, this is going to be cool. You had silver, the silver contracts, folks. So I'm bringing this together with the silver and the gold. What you had with yesterday is that silver had high volume and couldn't hold price. That was 1990. And the way silver's set up right now, silver wants to go too, man. And I really like that setup, man. So they didn't.
Do you think silver's going to pop too? In today?
Yeah.
You think it's going?
Yeah.
All right.
They didn't go as hard into silver, but when I put both of them together, it says, oh, this is beautiful, man. It's just set up. It's just deviant enough. And silver looks like it could do 20 cents, or just be a total mind blower. But that's how it's set up right now. And what you do have simultaneously, so when you start putting these together, folks, so check this out. Simultaneously, Europe's starting to fall apart. This is going to be serious business. See, what's interesting about Europe, I saw the flash that was initially coming across the tape was that in the UK, Cameron was basically, saying that he thought that the UK at this particular point was highly vulnerable to an attack by ISIS. You know, and that didn't do anything to our markets, but it did move. It didn't even do anything to the FTSE, but it did move the DAX. You know, that's the way this is. Well, it moved the FTSE too, because the FTSE was pushing 68.28, and that just pulled back 50 points, 40 points. You know, not that that's a lot, but they got, let's see, what time? Well, they got another hour and a half. Yeah, they got an hour and a half. No, they got 45 minutes before they close. So this is going to be, you know, coming into this, our close out here today is going to be really intriguing, you know, if in fact this baby is going to get down into that cash S&P number. Because right now we're only a point and a half away from one of the numbers, but we're quite a way away from, well, we're 4 points away from a larger failure in the S&P.
Wow, I just think I had a data error on silver. I was like, oh my gosh. Silver. You know, we take a look at the silver contract. You're at this is a nice setup, man. See, so watch. What silver did is this: that spike when we had it with gold, silver went 1,300 contracts. Then the next 10 minutes was only 480, and that's what you need. That's exactly what you need. And right now, this is going to get interesting, man. I can't wait to see how this shakes out, because we're at 1962. So the way silver shakes out, you could get, the low was 1984. So you're talking 1984. Yeah, 1984 to 1995. 95 is the high, 84 is the low. And, you know, on a technical basis it's set up. On a fundamental basis, I can see that people saying that, hey, I'm going to basically hedge myself coming into the market, into the weekend, with basically a couple hard assets. You know, so the thing, you know, Darryl, when I was starting the show, I was saying that it's amazing that you can have this much stuff happening in the world and our markets continue to chug along. And, you know, that'll, we'll see where this shakes out. But it's important, folks, because what happens, there is a one-world market, and as Jay said, there is no fear. And it's like, it's one of the... There's no fear in trading.
Well, the thing that, no, there's no fear in the investment world. I'd say that there's always fear in trading, but the investment world itself,
right now, long term.
Yeah, you know, they're basically saying, hey, you know, and they've been right that every single month, you know, for 2 or 3 years now, the market's gone up. You know?
It's been crazy that's been happening too.
You know, and so
we keep looking at it. We're like, okay, sooner or later this thing's gonna bust, and it just keeps chugging along.
You know, it does.
But that's why you got to trade the charts and not what you think, right? So when it comes right down to it,
that's right. There's no doubt about that.
And I think that's what you're talking about in the investor world. They trade what they think should happen versus what is happening.
Well, no, they just go long. That doesn't. It doesn't.
Because they think it should always go up.
If I've got my mind blown more than anything, okay, is that. And this goes all the way back in history, folks, okay? What I can't quite figure out is how people go out and work quite a bit, and then put their money in the market and think that it's never going to go down, and it always goes down. It's like, this is just amazing. And in fact, you know, like the propaganda that you have out here now is that, yeah, we're at highs. Well, guess what? You know, there's hundreds of stocks that aren't at highs that people have been in the market since 2000, and they're just getting... You know, they're close to getting even. So it's really strange, man. You know.
One of my friends that I worked with, I used to work with at a firm when we did ARB research.
Yeah.
And he works for the largest mutual fund company out there.
Yes.
Without naming names at the moment. And he'd going through his training. This was, you know, quite a while back. And he's like, well, what about, and this was after 2008 when he went to work for him. And he's like, well, do we have any bear funds? And... You know, they're looking at him, they're like, no, we're always bullish. He's like, but the market's just crashed by 50%. It always comes back, we're always bullish, we don't have any bear funds. Next question. I'm like, it was just, I mean, it's the biggest mutual fund company that exists.
Right, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense because that's their mantra, you know, that's how it goes. Let's go to Bob in Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, Bob, what's going on?
I'm growling and prowling out here in Hartford, Connecticut. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Hey, I was wondering in the DAX market if I was seeing a little head and shoulders maybe on the 60-minute or 2-hour chart. Would kind of line up with what you've been saying about Europe getting ready to sell off.
Well, yeah, the DAX is selling off right now big time. The DAX looks like, the DAX itself is an ABC structure on the way down. And the DAX, what's intriguing about the DAX to me, it likes to trade like the NASDAQ. And what has happened is that the DAX is one of the only indices that the February 5th in our markets, folks, is the benchmark. Well, the DAX and that was the benchmark and the DAX. And what the DAX ended up doing is that in March it broke the February low, and then in August it broke the March low. So the DAX has had 3 lower lows, and this setup here looks like it's a very large ABC down. So 10,000 is your A, and 8,900 should be. So you get 1,100, which gets you an 8,500 DAX. So we'll see where that shakes out. But yeah, the DAX is selling off right now, and we'll see how much further that escalates. Our own markets, though, guess what? As the DAX is selling off, folks, the cash S&P, or the future, it's only down $1.50. They're gonna hold this up going in, and they know. When I say there's no such thing as like one person. That's like the invisible hand, and they're not an invisible hand. We know that, but the reality is that. Anyone that's out there knows that you only have about, you get, by the time Daryl and I are coming off the air, you're going to see the volume die on the vine. I mean, die extraordinary, too. Right? Well, it's probably already dead. Right now, we've done 108 million. So right now, that is the lowest thus far. The NASDAQ did 348 million. We'll see where this shakes out, but. Yeah, Bob, I mean, the DAX, the cool thing about the DAX, as I said, is that it likes to mimic the NASDAQ composite. Now, our NASDAQ composite has gone to higher highs after a vicious downdraft. The composite right now is at 4,500, and, it was laying out at 3,900 only 3 months ago. So we'll see where the baby shakes out, but...
Hey, you're looking at a trend reversal on silver. Did I interpret that correctly?
I think silver's going higher, yeah. Yeah. What silver has to do, though, is this. Now, gold stayed inside its higher range. Silver is trying to make it up to that range, and that range that it has to get back inside is 19.94. Yesterday, we hit the 19.95. We did it with volume. And it has a shot. I think it has a shot for 20 cents today, coming into this close. That'd be unusual, but those first 2 buys in the gold market and the silver market were pretty decent buys. So, cooking, brother.
Hey, thank you.
Have a great one, man. Have a safe one.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm short right now on all my gold spreads, and I'm watching. I'm waiting for that thing to even inch that it's going to go back the other direction. I'm going to go in and hedge it like
there you go. There you go.
But I mean, I think we got a chance going down to that 1285 level right there. So 1284, 1285.
That's a beautiful thing. That's what makes the market, man.
I'm short 40 contracts, man. $400 risk. It's just stupid.
How cool is that? Dow Bond, Tom O'Brien. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Dow Industrials right now is down 27. NASDAQ up 7. S&Ps are flat. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, folks. Daryl Mott and Tom O'Brien. Appreciate you growling and prowling out here with us. Right now, you get the Dow down 25. NASDAQ's up 8. S&Ps basically, they're down a buck. The DAX is off 70. You got the FTSE down 17. They get about another half hour going into that close out here. And don't forget, folks, at TFNN, we do 10 hours of live programming every trading day. You can get all that programming right on your cell phone, tfnn.mobi. If you'd like to get Tiger TV, which gets you the audio as well as the video, just go to tfnn.com, hit that Tiger TV on the top right-hand corner, and then you will get both of them. Coming up next, we got our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. He's going to be growling and prowling with you. Nico and Paige are going to keep you happy. Dave White, Daryl Martin, Dave White, and myself are going to be coming back, kicking into this a long weekend. So what are you up to for the weekend?
I have just been told that I'm being taken away. So my family,
that's
my wife and my kids are all taking me out somewhere. I think we're probably going to end up going camping somewhere or whatever.
That's always fun.
And so probably like Turner Falls area or whatever.
A mystery ride.
Yeah. It's my birthday Monday, or Tuesday, so they're going to take me out for like 4 or 5 days.
That's perfect, man.
Just go out, just relax, and have some family time and get away from the technology.
That's good, man. That's that, and it was, what does happen is no doubt, folks, especially when we're in the trading business, having just one extra day off is dynamite. 2 days is like a whole different world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So recharge the batteries, and so it's good. I'm excited. It'll be fun. Yeah. So
no doubt about it, man. Yeah.
And we're looking at doing that, and then also the following weekend we're going to they're doing the Red Bull Air Race show.
Okay.
So it's a worldwide show. Like it's over in Abu Dhabi, and it starts actually here in Dallas at the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. And so we're gonna go out to that. I mean, these like custom-made planes are racing like at 220 miles an hour, like 80 feet above the ground.
Oh yeah, I've seen the YouTubes of those. Right.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. We're gonna go to that not this weekend, but the next weekend. That's for like 2 days right here in Dallas, and they have like 8 championship races like in countries all over the world, and they just happen to be starting here this year. So
no, that's going to be pretty intense, no doubt about it.
And we're going to get an RV. I don't own one, but we're just going to rent one, and you can actually like put your RV like right in the center of the racetrack.
Yeah.
You just be looking up at the plane just like circling around.
That's awesome.
So and all that stuff.
That whole rent an RV deal is just so cool. It's amazing.
That's the way to go, man. I'm not going to buy one of those things for $200,000.
Well, what's amazing,
I'd have to have a lot of trips to pay for that puppy.
So picture this. Down in Florida, I believe we have some of the biggest, actually in Pinellas County, he claims he's the biggest RV dealer in the world. And he very well might be. And what it is what Darryl just said, folks. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that actually buy, $140,000 to $200,000 RV and then don't use it. And then it's a huge business down here buying them, okay? And it's like, you got to be kidding me, man, because I took my children twice across Alaska in one, right? And twice, folks, we went across the dirt road of Mount McKinley. It's amazing, seeing no one for a couple of days. And that is the way to go, because it's cheap money renting them, and then you drop it off and see you later, So it's like...
Exactly. You don't have to set up the tent, everything. I mean, I like, doing the whole regular camping thing, but you can move, you can go, everything's there. You don't have to get the hotels.
Oh, yeah.
It's all done, and, you can stop anytime you want to, and you can make lunch, whatever. So.
Right. And what does happen, folks, and this is what's really cool, is that you actually can stop anywhere you want in many of these other states, the full states you can't. You stay right there, folks. I got our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, coming up. He's going to be growling and prowling with you. Darryl, have a great one, safe one. Of course, we look forward to the show this afternoon.
All right, you too, man.
Have a great one, folks. Stay right there. Basil's coming right up.